Hello friends and welcome to our next video. And now in this video we will try to write a trigger on attachments. Okay. So let's say if you go to any object, let's say we go to accounts. So if you go below you will see a little list by name, notes and attachment. So there could be a requirement where you need to make some changes to attachment. You might need to modify the name or you might need to update any field. But the thing is that by using this Salesforce normal user interface, you cannot write a trigger on attachment. Like we were going to account or lead and we were going to triggers, we will not be able to find attachment triggers here. Okay. So a trigger on attachment could be written through an IDE like Eclipse. Okay. Any third party force.com IDE can be used and you can write attachment on that and then save that to your server. So for the demo purpose, I will not be going to install Eclipse and all those things. So what I will do, let's go to developer console and try writing the trigger there. Okay. So I will open the developer console here. Go to file, go to new. You will see here we have Apex trigger. Now the name is, let's say I type in uh, trigger on attachment. Now here we need the as object. So here you will see the as object as attachment. Click submit. So it's waiting for response from server. I will do no thanks. So here we have trigger on attachment on attachment. Before insert it took by default. Okay. So primarily since you are writing a trigger on an object, you might be doing some calculation on that object itself. So it will assume before insert by default. So let's say we create a field on account. Go to account and let's say you have a requirement that if account has attachment, so that account should have a checkbox which should be true. So it could be for reporting purpose or maybe it could be for any other purpose. Okay. So we will go to checkbox, click next, and let's say the name is has attachment. By default we will leave it unchecked. Click next, visible for all. Click next and let's click save. So we have this field now. Okay, has attachment on account. Now we will go to our trigger and let's say we will um, maybe we can create a list of account first. Okay, so let's say we create a list of account because we need to update account. So for as I told you, for bulkifying things you should always go with creating collections, adding them to the collection and then doing the DML operation in one go. Let's say ACC list equals to new list of account. Okay, so we will use this list later and maybe if you want to store some IDs you can create a set of IDs as well. Let's see if we will need it or not. For we have written trigger on attachment, so we will go for attachment. Let's say we name the variable AT and trigger dot new. Okay, I missed the R here. Opening brace, closing brace of for loop. Now uh, when you're inserting attachment, so we only want the attachments related to account. That's all. We don't want to, because attachment is a related list for every object. Okay, so we want attachment only related to account. So what we will do, we will let's so here what we can do, we can create a set ACCID. Okay, here we got, so id dot add, and here we will add the parent ID of the attachment. ACC ID does not mean account ID, just a variable name. It's a set of ID, and ID could be any record ID. Okay. Now what we will do, let's query the account ACC list equals to select ID comma has attachment double underscore C. So this field we will be updating from account where ID in ACC ID. So here this set will help us to optimize our query. Okay, we are not going to query the complete org for account. So we will only query the current accounts which are in context. Okay, so what we will do, if it's always a good practice to check for these things, ACC list size of the list or null for something. So maybe not equals to null and ACC list dot size greater than 0. Okay, so these things come under good practice, because if you will not do this, you will receive an error list index out of bounds. Okay, so for account ACC list, we will iterate over this list and we will update the fields, that field value, the checkbox value. Okay, ACC dot has attachment equals to, I will explain you the trigger one more time if you are not able to understand. Okay, ACC dot had attachment equals to true, and then what we can do, we can simply have update, we can create one more list here, maybe ACC list 2, ACC list 2 dot add ACC. Okay, and update ACC list. Okay, so as simple as that. Now let me explain you this trigger one more time. Here what we did, we wrote a trigger on attachment. Now these things you can ignore it for time being, because these depend on the requirement. As you pass on with the trigger, you write on code. So slowly while writing the code, you realize that I need a list, I need a set. So you start declaring them. Okay. So these things come by experience and practice. Now I created a set, and I added all the IDs to the ACC ID, but we are only worried about account. Okay, an attachment could be added to a opportunity object, to a contact, to a custom object, anything. Now I will go to ACC list, I will query that field, and just to optimize the query, I only need those accounts whose ID is in ACC ID. So this means we only need attachment for accounts. Okay, now it's a good practice to check for null and size of the list so that we don't receive any error. So if the size of account was greater than 0, this means there were accounts which were in this ACC ID. So we iterate through the account, and it also means that they had attachment, because only if they had attachment, then only AT dot, okay, AT dot parent ID was there. Otherwise this parent ID for account will not have been there. Okay, so since there was parent ID added to account and we found some account which were there in the set, that's why we went ahead and we iterated through the list and we updated the checkbox which we have just created to true, and we added that to a list, and this time it will be update because these are all existing accounts, so we will not go for insert. We are updating an existing record, so it will go for update. Okay, so I think you were able to understand this trigger. Okay, so that was all for this video. In the next video we'll see more wonderful things. Till then, take care, bye bye, all the best.